See your faces, probably you might be looking at my face, okay? So we are in a continuation of our one more chapter that is called as Atoms and Molecules, right? Atoms and Molecules. Since we are continuing with this chapter, Atoms and Molecules, so we need to discuss some more important facts regarding this chapter. Already we have discussed regarding the inventions as well as the findings regarding the atomic structure, as from the early ancient times to the modern times where scientists were working, scientists were working to find out the atomic concept of a particular matter. Now, what more needs to be understood? Now the practical analysis we need to go through. Alright? We need to go through the practical analysis by now. We need to apply this study of atoms and its structure. Alright? We need to understand. Okay? We need to understand as how the atoms can be vividly understood. Okay? So continuing the same, today I am going to discuss three important things. That is, number one, understanding the atomic number, valency and ions. Alright? What it is, then we need to understand what? We need to understand the atomic number, valency and ions. Now to talk about this atomic number, more or less all of you by now know regarding the atomic number. Right? These atomic numbers are actually formed by the presence of number of protons present in a particular number of protons present in an atom. Actually, atom can be further divided. This you will come to know in the next chapter when we shall be discussing chapter 4, the structure of atom. So by now, what becomes important for all of us to know and understand regarding the atomic structure is that atoms constitute of subatomic particles called as protons, electrons and neutrons. Now when we are talking about atomic number, it needs to be understood by all of us that what we are actually talking about is something about the protons. So the total number of protons present in an atom determines the atomic number of an element. Now, probably all of you know from hydrogen to calcium, we have got bundles of elements such as hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon up to atomic number 10. Simultaneously, if we continue it up to 20, we find sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon, potassium and calcium. Now what I have told just now, they are all arranged in serial manner of atomic numbers from 1 to 20. This you all might be knowing it very nicely and clearly. That is, what is the atomic? If I ask anyone as what would be the atomic number of a particular element, you would be easily knowing, or you would be able to tell very clearly that the atomic number is of a particular element. Say for example, we begin with the element called as hydrogen, and definitely, instantly you will be giving an answer that the atomic number of hydrogen is 1. Similarly, I have written some of the elements over here. Alright, that is number 1, hydrogen, and next carbon, next oxygen, next argon, and next is your calcium. I have not written them serially. I have picked up randomly some of the elements and accordingly just wrote the names, as you might all be knowing about this element. But today, what I am instigating to tell you regarding this element is that the atomic number of hydrogen we know it to be 1. For carbon we know the atomic number to be 6. For oxygen the atomic number we know it to be 8. We know the atomic number of carbon to be 18 and the atomic number of calcium to be 20. Alright. But what we need to understand regarding this atomic number, so far you have been learning the atomic number. You were memorizing, say from the previous classes you studied. But what needs to be understood by you all at this juncture is that what is this atomic number? So when we talk about what is this atomic number, we need to understand that it is the number of protons present within an atom. So proton is the subatomic particle. Okay, proton is the subatomic particle present inside the atom. As I have already told you that in an atom there are 3 subatomic particles: protons, electrons and neutrons. Okay. This you will be getting in the subsequent chapter. I shall be discussing as how were they found out or how they exist. Until now in this chapter you were aware that atom is the smallest unit of a matter and that's all. But we need to understand more. I told you at the very beginning this is a very interesting chapter. If we go on finding more and more, we will get much more interest about this. Okay? So today, as I told you that we shall be discussing regarding the atomic number, valency and ions. This atomic number basically constitutes of the subatomic particle called as atom. Now, if I am telling that the atomic number of hydrogen is 1, that means the total number of protons present within the element hydrogen is 1. When I say the atomic number of carbon is 6, that means I need to understand within the atom of the element carbon, the total number of protons present is 6. Similarly, oxygen, the total number of protons is 8. For argon, the total number of protons is 18. And calcium simultaneously 20 and so on. More and more elements as we come across. When we will come to know about more and more elements and we know them by their atomic number, we clearly understand what? We clearly understand that these are the number of protons. Okay? We shall be vividly discussing in the subsequent chapter. Coming to one more another aspect called as valency. Now what is this valency? Valency is the combining capacity of an element. Okay? This is the thing we should know. Why? Why it is required? Why we are bothered about this term called as valency? We know by definition what is valency. It is the combining capacity of an element. That means elements combine together to form compound. This you know. This term you know. That elements unite together to form compound. But by how they combine, that you don't know. That you need to know by now. Alright? That you need to know by now. That this valency is responsible for combining these elements to form a compound. So, what is this valency? Valency is the combining capacity of an element to form compounds. Okay? Therefore, how actually valency is being found? This also we shall be learning in the subsequent chapter. The next chapter when we shall be discussing is how the subatomic particles are present within an orbit and how actually we find out the valency. But for the time being, as we are discussing these chapters and as I told you, we need to learn about much more regarding some aspects relating to the numericals or finding out the formulas. Therefore, it will become very much important for us to know what you know, to know the atomic mass, the valencies and also the charges beared by the various elements as well as compounds. Therefore, I am discussing the very initial aspect. Alright, valence is the combining capacity of an element. Therefore, we at least should know what is the valence of particular element. I have written some of the elements, very few number of elements. That is for hydrogen, the valency is 1. For carbon, the valency is 12. For oxygen, the valency, it's my mistake. For it is for whatever I have told just now are all the atomic mass. Now what I am telling you is regarding the valency. That is for hydrogen the valency is 1, for carbon the valency is 4, for oxygen the valency is 2, for argon the valency is 0, and for calcium the valency is 2. This you should know by your own. When I say hydrogen, the valency is 1. Immediately when I proceed with helium, the valency is 0. Now if someone asks me what is the valency of nitrogen, I should be immediately ready to tell that the valency of nitrogen is 3. Alright? 3. Similarly, if someone asks me what is the valency of sulfur, I should immediately reply him or her that it is 2. For calcium, the valency is 2. For magnesium, the valency is 2. For sodium, the valency is 1. For neon, the valency is 0. Alright? All of these things that we should remember always. Alright? This should come within an instance. In one go. Alright? In one go, we should be able to answer. Okay? In one go, we should be able to answer as what is the valency of a particular element is, so that it becomes very much easier for us to find out a formula of a particular compound, since we know that compound is formed by the combination of the elements, and these elements, when we exchange their valencies, will form the compounds. Alright? Next, another important aspect that we should also know is regarding the atomic mass. Alright, we should know regarding the atomic mass. For hydrogen, the atomic mass is 1. For carbon, the atomic mass is 12. For oxygen, the atomic mass is 16. For argon, the atomic mass is 40. And calcium also 40. This is also, you will find it quite interesting when you see the atomic mass of argon is 40 and the atomic mass of calcium is also 40. How it is possible? You will come to know when you learn about certain topics called as isotopes. Alright? When we discuss about isotopes, you will find that there are isotopes and isobars. Now, where there are two different elements having same atomic mass, then we call it as isobars. Alright? An isotope, that means a particular element has two masses, as in case of chlorine. However, we write the cumulative average of chlorine, that is 35.5. The atomic mass of chlorine we write as 35.5. But chlorine has got two isotopes, of which one isotope has atomic mass of 35 and the another isotope has got the atomic mass of 37. However, you might be wondering that if we take the average, we get the ultimate answer as 36 if we practically take the average. But how it is possible? How it is possible that it is 35.5? You see, this average is the cumulative average, not taken exactly as per the mathematical order. The isotope which mostly reacts with other elements. Within a chlorine, the isotope having atomic mass 35 and 37, out of them, whichever isotope is mostly reacting is considered the maximum and the other as minimum. So a mean value of maximum and minimum is taken where we get the average value of chlorine atomic mass as 35.5. That is the reason why we write the atomic mass of chlorine as 35.5. So this is very important. This is very important for all of us to know regarding the atomic mass, because we are not able to find out the total amount of mass. If we are required to find out the mass of a particular element, or we are required to find out the mass of a particular compound, we will never be able to find out the mass of a particular compound until and unless we are aware of this atomic mass. Therefore, this atomic mass is also important. Now let me tell you what is this atomic mass. You might be wondering that already I have told you regarding atomic number, that it is the number of protons that constitute to form the atomic number. But when I have started another important term that is called as the atomic mass. Now what it is? The atomic mass Alright, the atomic mass is the number of protons and the number of neutrons. Now once again you might be wondering, what are these protons and what are these neutrons? Protons are the positively charged particles present within an atom, and neutrons are the neutrally charged particle present that lies within the center of an atom. Okay, so these are the things that you will come to know vividly, and much more you will find it much more interesting when we shall be discussing about the next chapter, that is chapter 4, structure of atom. Now, by now you have learned the valencies. All of you might be knowing regarding the valencies from the element serial number, atomic number 1 to 20. I am just stating it for your understanding. I have written very few number of elements, okay? But now you get the idea regarding what is this valency or what would be the valency. For the time being, I have told you that you should remember what is the valency. Because until and unless you remember the valency, you will not be able to form a compound, okay? Therefore, it is important for you to know the valency of that particular element. So by now, atomic mass also you should know. Alright, what would be the atomic masses? If you go through your book, you will come to know regarding the atomic mass of an element. Okay? Now, we form a compound. We form a compound either. Okay, we form a compound either by combining the valencies, that is exchanging the valencies. Okay? And number 2, we form the compound either by exchanging the charges. There are certain compounds that are formed with a combination of an element and other additional compound. So in that case, it becomes very much difficult for us to form a compound with just exchanging the valency. Okay? It never becomes easier for us to form that compound with exchanging the valency. Therefore, it becomes important for us to know the charge beared by the particular element or compound. So until and unless we don't know the charges, then it will be very much difficult for us to form such sort of compounds. Therefore, let me take you to another aspect, that is charges beared by elements or compounds. Alright, charges beared by elements or compounds. So when I say that the charges means the ions. Whenever we are talking about the exchange of ions, we need to understand that we are talking about the exchange of charges. Normally a charge is of two types, that is your positive and negative, but the exchange of these charges has to be regulated by another charge called as the neutral charge. Okay. However, the practical applications we shall be knowing only regarding the positive as well as negative charges. Now there are elements or compounds which bear charges, either single charge, double charge, triple charge, or many more charges. So if we want to know them, we have to know, if we are going to exchange or we are going to form a compound, it is necessary for all of us to know the exact charge beared by that particular element or compound. Okay? Now you see, when I am talking about these elements or compound that are bearing the charges, I find here single charge, the double charge, the triple or more charges. This single charge means 1 are called as your monoatomic ions. That means the elements that bear single charge are called as monoatomic ions. Alright? Remember this. These terms are also very much important. When we say monoatomic ions, we need to understand that the elements or particular compounds bear a single charge. Mono means 1. Mono means 1. So when we say monoatomic ions, we need to understand that the element or a compound is bearing a single charge. Alright, it is bearing a single charge. Next, you see there are double charge element or compounds. These double charged elements or compounds are known as diatomic ions. When we say diatomic ions, we need to understand, alright, when we say diatomic ions, we need to understand that within this group, these are the elements or compounds that bear double charge. The charge may be positive or negative, it doesn't matter. They may be single positive or double positive, they may be single negative or double negative, it doesn't matter. But what matters is that they are the diatomic ions. That means they will possess double charge. Alright, they will have double charge in them. And if we move on to the next one, that is your triple or more charges. That means they may be triple, they may be quadruple, alright, they may be pentuple, they may be hexaple, they may be heptuple. So we cannot just finish it up. Therefore, we understand that anything above 2 or 3 will be considered as what you know, poly. We call it as poly. It has got no fixed number. It may be 3, 4, 5, 6, anything. But it will be called as what you know, it will be called as poly. Therefore, triple or more elements having triple or more charges will be called as polyatomic ions. What they will be called as? Polyatomic ions. So elements or compounds that are having, alright, elements or compounds that are having 2, 3, 4 and so on are called as your polyatomic ions. So let us see some examples regarding the single charge or what we call as the monoatomic ions. Alright. So under this monoatomic ions or those elements or compounds bearing single charge is your sodium. If you look into this, you will find even in your book also, you can go through the book and get a clear picture of that. What I am discussing here is the sodium. This sodium we know by symbol, the symbol of sodium is Na and it bears a positive charge. And this positive charge is a single charge beared by sodium. Therefore, we will write it as Na positive. That means it is possessing only one positive charge. Alright? It is possessing only one positive charge. Similarly, potassium. It also possesses one positive charge, K positive. By symbol, we know the symbol of potassium to be K, and therefore we write it as K positive. Coming to next is your silver. Alright, silver we know by symbol of silver as Ag, and it is also a positive charge bearing single positive charge. Alright, that is Ag positive. There are negative charge elements or particles also, such as hydride, and we denote this hydride as H negative. That means this hydrogen atom possess negative charges. That means hydrogen may possess positive charge also and it may possess negative charge also. When an hydrogen will be having positive charge, it will be called as hydronium, and when it will be a negative charge, it will be called as hydride. So within hydrogen there are two types of charges. The hydrogen that bears positive charges are called as hydronium, and hydrogen bearing the negative charge will be called as your hydride. Coming to next one is your chlorine or chloride, that is denoted as single negative. So it is also possessing a single charge which is negative. Okay, I told you at the very beginning that positive or negative doesn't matter anything. Alright, what matters is what is the amount of charge possessed by a particular element or compound. Coming to the diatomic ions, if you see, the diatomic ions will consist of two charges. They may be positive or they may be negative. It doesn't matter. So these diatomic ions, for example, we can see magnesium, Mg double positive, calcium, Ca double positive, zinc, Zn double positive, sulfide, S double negative, carbonate, CO3 double negative. You see, in the above four, these all are elements, and at the last, the carbonate, this is not an element but a compound. But this compound is capable to unite with other elements or compound to form another new compound. Alright? So these are all about your diatomic ions, alright, which possess double charge. Coming to next triple or mauve charges, which we have already told that called as polyatomic ions. Alright, called as polyatomic ions. These may have triple charge or more than that. However, I will repeat two. One is your aluminium that has triple positive charges, and the next one is your phosphate. Alright, next one is your phosphate. This is a compound. Alright, this is a compound. Phosphate is a compound. This is not an element, it is once again a compound. You see, combination of two elements, phosphorus and oxygen. Alright, phosphate, PO4. This also possess three charges. This also possesses three charges, but however in this case it possesses a negative charge. So as I told you that these ions either may possess positive charge or they may possess negative charge, but it doesn't matter. But what matters the most is that what is the quantity of charges beared by them? What is the amount of charge present in them? Alright, what is the amount of charge present in them? These are the things that should be known by us. Alright, these are the charges known by us. As I have discussed overall the atomic number, atomic mass, valency and charges, these are important. Why you know? These are important because until and unless we know about these facts, alright, it will not be possible for us. Okay, it will not be possible for us to find out the formula of a compound. We cannot find the molecular mass of a particular element or a compound. Even we cannot go into deep as finding out the mole concept. So, if you go through it, if you go through your book, you will understand it very clearly as per my understanding. You go through the video, you try to understand more and more. If you do not understand in one go, listen to it for the second time. Compare my explanations with the book. The things will become much more easier for you. Okay? You will be able to understand in detail about this concept. And once you are clear and thorough with this concept, then I can proceed with some more additional things, that is here, how to form a compounds. I will be showing in my next video as how to form the compounds, alright, as how we can calculate out the molecular mass of a compound, and similarly simultaneously we can go ahead with the mole concept. So do watch this video, go through the topics that have been explained to you. Hope you will do so. Thank you very much.